NPCs. Like, I mostly was just doing story quests, you know? And, like, I think the reason I got stuck was that, like, because I probably was underleveled. Because usually in RPGs, when I was growing up, I would eventually get stuck for being underleveled. And it's because, like, I always had the mentality of, like, fuck side quests, I just want to see the story. Like, all I cared about in games was the story, and, like, the longer it took between cutscenes, the more I just started getting bored. Because, like, you know, most of the time the combat is pretty repetitive in these games. Like, I just wanted to know what was going to happen. And I have the totally opposite mentality now because I recognize that game stories are almost unilaterally bad. And if a game is not fun enough to be carried without the story, it's probably not worth playing.
You just went full autist, man. That's what happened.
Yep. I guess we were dead for a bit because there was a bunch of F's in the stream, but it seems like we're live now.
Ain't that the way? Ain't that the way?
It happens, man. It happens up in this bitch. We are doing this show on Wi-Fi on a laptop.
Very dumb.
Yeah.
But we can fix that this Friday when the desktop comes in.
Oh yes, Tom has ordered a sick ass workstation from a. You basically have been like trying to like life hack computer setups, I guess, for the last.
I mean, that's been my whole life, but I went pretty deep into it.
Yeah. Well, because we were discussing, because you've always been somebody who builds your own computers, and like I'm sure you do lots of min-maxing with price versus like what you need and shit. But
I do that with everything. Like, think of how poor I am. Like, that's a requirement to just being alive in my situation.
But like, we've been talking a lot about like enhancing both our. Basically, we want to build both a Beowulf cluster, though. Based on your research, that may not be the best way to go for us, and instead you purchased just a really powerful workstation that was really cheap.
I have an update on that, which you might be interested in.
Okay.
So, I've kind of found a way to have our cake and eat it too with this thing. So I have two options with this computer when it comes in. I'm gonna try using it for my shit, and if it just either proves to be like I don't like it for whatever reason, or it's just like too OP and I don't need that much power. I figure we can just share it, like use it as a shared computer, because what you can do, built into Windows, is that you can, you know that like annoying thing sometimes you hook up to Wi-Fi, it's like, do you want to start a home group? And you always click add because it's gay and you don't care. You just want to get on Wi-Fi and look at porn.
I don't have Wi-Fi on my computer, so no.
Okay, well that is a thing that pops up all the time. What that actually does is it lets you sync any file or folder on your computer with every other computer on your network.
Okay.
So what you can also do is you can also remote into computers on your network as well. So if I don't want to use this computer for whatever reason, I figured we would just set it up with no monitor or anything, just have it turned on, then add it to our home group. So
and then we can each remote
desktop we can remote into it and just
use it for rendering. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Although, like, I also just like need to replace my CPU anyways because my computer's been running like shit lately. I think it's dying. Although it could be that I haven't cleaned it in a while. Like maybe it's collected dust now that it's in a new location. I mean, it's more dusty.
It's very possible.
I had to look into it. But, you know, time feels like a midnight ride. Formality waits outside, weeping in perplexity's arms. Oh, fuck. What was I thinking? Right. We wanted both the Beowulf cluster for rendering potential, and then we also want to set up a server, which at first I just wanted because I felt like we needed more data capacity, because like one of my hard drives, my 4 terabyte drive seemingly has died, and like I'm just constantly like running out of space on my computers, on all my drives, and like, but then also because of fucking PeerTube, which is something we're looking into.
Yeah.
PeerTube being it's similar, the way it works is similar to BitChute, if anyone's heard of that, which I think we talked about that on the last show, actually.
I believe we did.
Yeah, which is a peer-to-peer streaming site. But PeerTube is not only a peer-to-peer streaming site, but you make your own version of the site.
Yeah, you can like instance it, is what they're calling it.
That's a good.
And you make your own federation, is what.
Yes. So like let's say that I made a PeerTube site. It would be called DigiTube, and I can customize it completely. I can determine for myself the way that the videos work and like just the way that they appear on the page. Like I can set all the dimensions and colors and everything of the entire. It basically looks like I made my own custom YouTube. And then if there's someone else's PeerTube channel that you like, you can host it on your PeerTube channel and form what is called a federation. So DigiTube could be hosting TomTube, and they both appear on, like, your videos would appear on DigiTube somehow.
Right.
It's fucking nuts, and it sounds like everything that I've been saying the internet needs to become. So we're gonna try to look into that. Anyways, let me look at these fucking comments here in the fucking chat. I heard internet in Boston is really unreliable. Internet in America is really unreliable.
Yeah, American internet is
like
embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, find me a town where it's good. Like, I mean, our internet's pretty fine here. Like, the router is downstairs and we are upstairs. So, like, it's not just that we're on Wi-Fi, but we're not, like, in the room with the router or anything.
I will say, though, the saving grace of internet here in America is that we don't have data caps. Like, in Canada, for example, you have a monthly data cap on your home internet like you do on your phone.
That is also true in a lot of America. Like Cox will put like they don't even advertise it, but they'll put 20 gig caps and shit.
Would
like,
you trust a provider named Cox? I wouldn't.
No. Do they have Cox here?
No, they do not.
It's COX, but yeah, like Cox is pretty big in a lot of the country, and I think they have like hidden data caps, or at least they tried to implement that at one point. I don't know if they got reamed for that decision.
I changed my beard.
But they had set like a 200 gig a month data cap, which my friend Donson was like, I hit that in like a day on average.
Well, the thing like nowadays is like you're gonna hit that. Like if I wanted to download Doom, like Doom's 80 gigs.
Right. Yeah. Jesus, 80 fucking gigs?
Yeah, games are almost 100 gigs now.
What the fuck, dude?
Can you imagine blowing through your entire month of data just to download 2 games?
Doom is bigger than a fucking MMORPG. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, there's a lot. There's some mega textures in there, dude.
Oh, I guess it is fucking id, and they like invented mega textures, didn't they? With Rage. Wasn't Rage like the first game to use mega textures?
Yeah, I think that was a buzzword. They're probably just like high resolution textures, but whatever.
No, they had like entire levels as one texture in Rage. That was like the whole point of the game.
That's weird. Why is this lady so ugly?
Dude, id invented all technology.